How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And you know what time it is. It is time for the joke of the day. If you're new to this channel, we do this 5 days out of the week. Maybe you had a long, maybe you had a stressful day, or maybe it was the market conditions where you came to watch this video, plus hear one of my corny jokes. Here it comes. What makes a good pizza joke? It's all in the delivery. Get it right? It's in the delivery. So anyways, what we're going to be talking about today is OCGN. I know you guys caught wind of the news today. We ended up getting the EUL. This is a step in the right direction. But I know many of you are still fairly angry due to the fact of the price action that you were seeing. There was a strong sell-off, and this is, I always say, protect your profits depending on what your goals are. This is very key because you'll never go broke protecting profits. And if you are going to be staying inside this play, you got to understand and be willing to ride the elevator. I'll talk about that more inside this video. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know some key levels, especially in a bearish case scenario and as well as in a bullish case scenario. I want to make sure you guys are fully prepared, whether you're a trader or you're looking at this as an investment. And then we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information. The reason why this is key because we know the short interest will have an impact on the way the stock performs and how volatile it actually is. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know what was the buying and as well as the selling behavior like on the institutional side and as well as on the retail side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for OCGN. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $12.73, being down 18.76%. On the low, it tested $12.30, and then on the high, testing $17.65. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 206.45 million shares, and then with the average volume over 10 trading days being at 92.87 million shares. So what we could see right away, we dealt with a tremendous amount of selling pressure in OCGN as part of the reasons why the stock pulled back. Now, when we take a look at our 1-year daily chart, we could see from the RSI down below, it is right around 64.73. And then when we take a look at the moving averages on the chart, you can see we have strength above the 100-day, the 200-day, the 50-day, and as well as a 21-day EMA. And what you could see so far going down inside of the after hours at the time of this recording, we're around $11.17. This is actually an area where we've shown to have support in the past as well. As far as for tomorrow, what I'd want to see if we do decide to pull back going into the open, it would be great if we could hold up the 21-day EMA here at $10.22 and then see what happens going from there. As far as for the high that we ended up seeing on the day of $17.65, that was right at the open there. We had a lot of people that were buying in, and then of course that's when people just started taking a ton of profits, and we ended up dealing with this big time sell-off. Even towards the end of the day, still more selling pressure even though the markets were picking up. So what I want to see going into tomorrow in a bullish case scenario, if we end up having a big time recovery in the pre-market or even in the after hours, I'd assume we'll probably come back to around this $12 area. If not, like I said before previously, it'd be good to see if we were able to actually hold up $10 and actually finish above that as we get into Friday. So let's see what happens. So we're going to take a look at the short interest information for OCGN. So when we take a look at the dark pool short volume ratio, it's just over 46.90%. And then for the dark pool short volume being just over 43.3 million shares. Wow. And when we take a look at the short shares availability, it is at 750,000 updated 28 48 minutes ago. And then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 2.38%. Now, when we take a look at the history of the short volume ratio, we can see for the close of the first, it was at 57.18. And then for the close, which was yesterday, it was at 46.90. So OCGN does continue to have short squeeze potential. There's a lot of negative market sentiment around the play, and this is why you see a lot of volatility and why you see the price action that we saw today and what we have seen in prior trading days. So now let's jump into the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for OCGN. So when we take a look at the inflow, we see it was 599, and when we take a look at the outflow, it was 509. So we ended up having an inflow day. When you see what happened on the large, we had 6.80. On the medium, it was 429, and then on the small, it was 163. When we take a look at what happened on the outflow side, it was 5.06 on the large. On the medium, it was 377, and then on the small, it was 128. And keep in mind, this is in the millions. When we take a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you could see for the past 3 trading days and as well as today having that big time inflow of 1,739.26. So when we analyze what was happening as far as for the breakdown for the orders, on the small we had a lot more buying than we had selling, and then when we take a look at what was happening on the medium, we had a lot more buying as well, and then when we take a look at the large, you can see clearly we had some more buying coming into the play. Now when we take a look at the turnover ratio, which contributes to the volatility that we saw, you could see clearly we had a turnover of 107.07%. So this is very high, and what this tells me right away, there was a lot of traders that were inside of this play. And also on top of that, we also did have some selling pressure. But one thing that is very clear though, it does look fairly bullish. There were institutions and as well as retail investors and traders that were purchasing up shares. And in regards to how many are actually holding it, again, we're gonna have to continue to monitor the stock and see how it goes. But for the most part, there is some manipulation that is going on, but on top of that, we do have some selling pressure, and that's something that we could see clearly from the turnover ratio. So now let's get into the final thoughts, and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for OCGN, we definitely saw a lot of volatility today, and there was a ton of selling pressure. Yes, there could be some manipulation from shorts in this play, because when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information, it still continues to have short squeeze potential. There's a lot of shorts who are invested, but we also have to keep in mind there are many who are in this play to buy the rumor and sell the news. So having that spike at the open and seeing, hey, it was able to get to like 17 plus, we were looking for it to go to $18. It did do this inside of the pre-market, but we wanted to see it at the open, but it didn't happen. But I also want to say congratulations to those who were able to protect their profits. I did that today myself. I know many of you as well, and you're able to actually have some cash on the side, and then you can think and say, well, you know what, if the stock does decide to pull back further, then I'll add some money in regards to buying up on the dip. This is why it is very key to make sure that you have a strategy. If you want to go ahead and ride the elevator, by all means, you can do that. But that's not the type of style that I have. If I'm able to pull some profits, move my money in other places to have it work for me, and then look at OCGN again when it comes back down to a more attractive price, then I will add, and then I'll ride it back up all over again. Also, when we do the technical analysis, you guys have already seen how the 1 year chart actually looks like. OCGN is well known to have these strong pops, and then it cools off. So during that cool off period, when we have some stabilization in regards to the price, this is where I'll look at opportunities to add. I know I sound like a broken record here, but I want you guys to see the same lens of how I'm looking at this play. You want to make sure that you're being strategic, having that game plan, protecting those profits, and having your money work in other places. Another point that I want to bring up as well, anyone who bought into this play while it was at the high, that was not the most wisest of decisions to make, especially with a volatile play like this. I got some messages, people saying to me, well, you know what, I bought it when it was $16. I actually bought it right at the open when it was 17 when hearing the news. And you know what, that is a very risky decision to make. Now you have to ride the elevator if you haven't sold already. Again, you can continue to hold your position and wait for the next run up. That is completely fine, but I highly suggest that you look at how you can have a better entry for the future, because the last thing you want to do is have a habit of buying stocks when it's near its highs. And since OCGN was literally near its 52-week high, which was around $18+, buying at that particular range does not make any sense whatsoever. You will get the opportunity to average down, and there also will be multiple catalysts we're looking forward to in regards to the feedback that we're going to be getting from Health Canada, and as well as seeing how much OCGN can progress with this BLA trying to get that FDA approval. Once all of those things go through, then it does raise the potential of where ocugen stock could actually go. But for the meantime, I just say, you know what, be patient, see where the price decides to stabilize itself. We know they do have earnings that is coming up. I'm not expecting great things. We already know OCGN has been burning through cash, so I'm not going to be expecting anything stellar. But for the most part, I will still continue to do videos for you guys and keep you inside of the loop, because I want to make sure if you are thinking about getting into a position, you're getting in with the right entry. I did that way before when I was talking about OCGN, and I'm going to continue to do that now, especially for anyone who's new to this channel and you're actually thinking about actually getting into this play. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.